Mr. Peter Obi raised the issue about empathy. People died, and the issue about Mokwa, for example, and how the president has not been able to go on the ground. He says if he's elected president, he will go on the ground to such places. He says that kind of situation, wherever it is in the world, leaders will go on the ground, on the ground in that place. He mentioned the issue of people dying and the commissioning of board station by the president. He says that is insensitive. He spoke about even the issue in Benue. The president could not go right to Yawata. The president only stayed in Makodi. These are the issues about empathy. And any leader who wants to lead the country, from Mr. Obi's reference, it should have empathy. Does it look like this government doesn't have concern for empathy for citizens?
VeryDarkMan has more empathy than Peter Obi. He's not a politician, but he was in Benue. Why does he have to wait until he becomes a president before he gets to Benue? Why will he wait until he becomes a president before he will demonstrate? Empathy is personal, and it can be public. So him as a person, where
principal did not go there. Why is it that your principal? Is there any reason why the president couldn't go to Yawata, couldn't go to Mokwa, and commissioning bus stations when people have died in the same, when soldiers are being buried?
So one thing about leadership is you have so many things and you have to prioritize them. If the president were to be physically in Yelwata, would he have made the differences he was in Benue? You see, some of this rhetoric of Peter Obi and by extension the opposition is neither here nor there. It is because they lack basic things to talk about as far as governance is concerned. They go to talk, okay, because if he was not in Benue, they will say he didn't go to Benue. Now you went to Benue, why didn't you go to Yelwata? The shifting of goalposts is one of these elements you find in these internally displaced politicians. How many of them are gasping for power now? About 6, 7 of them. Who among them has gone there? Go to England, go to America and see the opposition, what they would have done. Secondly, Peter Obi is talking about, how did he even put it about that the president was commissioning something instead of going to where people have died? If he understands the institution of the presidency, if he understands leadership, if he even knows the constitution of Nigeria, he knows that under Section 5, the president exercised that power by himself through the vice president, ministers, agency heads, and government of the federation. So anybody in this government that you see in any part of Nigeria where there is crisis, and I dare say the national security advisor has been going to all these places where there are crises. The military officers have been going in all these places where there are crises. The intelligence officers have been going to all these places where there are crises. These individuals are representative of Mr. President, except if he doesn't know what Section 5 is. And this is why they don't even know how to register a political party. And they started complaining. I find it very intriguing, honestly, that this element that come together under opposition have still not been fair to the Nigerian people to come up with concrete plans that they have. They are association of people desperate for power. Unfortunately for them, Nigerians know them. These people do not come like a clap of thunder out of a blue sky. We know their history. In fact, one of the characteristics of Peter Obi is falsehood, disinformation, and misinformation. Since 2023, when people fact-checked him, he has ceased saying, go and verify. So when I listened to some of the things he was saying that 2 days ago, I felt ordinary. We are not even supposed to react to him because Peter Obi now is a non-issue, is a non-starter. Already he has considered his presidential ambition to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Now he has become a second fiddle, but he needs to fight for the vice presidential ticket with Rotimi Amechi. And from what we are hearing, they have in a badway manner convinced him that he will be director general of the campaign to lead the movement, and that when they win election, Atiku will do 1 term, and then Peter Obi will come back to become president.
You know, when they said that you must have lost your mind, or you will need to lose your mind to work for this APC government, you wonder why they say that. But when you listen and you look at Daniel Bwala and you listen to him, you just realize that's the right conclusion. That's the right conclusion. For you to say that this Tinubu's government is executing the ideas rightly is crazy. But first of all, When you put VDM in the mix, VDM has more compassion than most of Nigerian politicians put together, not just Peter Obi. But you cannot say and deny the compassionate nature of Peter Obi. Whether he's doing that for political purposes, going to places where people have been displaced and contributing to them, he's doing that better than most of the other politicians combined together. He's visited more internally displaced people within Nigeria when we're not at war than the president of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, the president of Nigeria was away for about 19 days when his people died. He didn't even move a hand. He came back and carried on as usual as though nothing happened. Never addressed the issue. When he went to one for Benue, he just went there and came back, went to Makodi and came back, and it was business as usual again. So you can see the idea that you have to support, for you to support this government, you have to accept that everything the government tells you is right. Everything. So, but let me address a few things that I know a lot of Nigerians are talking about, which is very, very important. Atiku Abubakar, first of all, needs to share his own personal ambition to become president of Nigeria. It's past his prime. And it will be foolish for Atiku Abubakar to think and to still conceive the idea, as much as many people are telling him that you need to be a statesman to say he wants to still be president, that Peter Obi should stay back and for him to be president. That is selfish. Because as of this particular moment, what Nigeria needs is rescue for this hand of this government so that we can be on the right track, not for one man to fulfill his own personal ambition. So that's one. Amechi and El Rufai have no chance. So the idea of looping them into the idea of them wanting to be president, even though Amechi has said that he doesn't mind doing one term, is first of all ridiculous in itself. And the idea itself is very stupid. I'm sorry to use those words, but you have to understand that Nigeria is bigger than your personal ambition right now. And Nigeria is in need of salvation rather than you trying to fulfill. What exactly is Amechi going to be giving Nigeria? What? What exactly is ML Rufai going to be giving Nigeria? What? So we need to put that and shelve that aside. So that's on that hand. On the other hand, you can see the way they come for Peter Obi. That idea of misinformation and disinformation by Daniel Bwala saying that Peter Obi has considered the fact that it will be DG of the Atiku Amechi campaign is ridiculous. That's another idea of misinformation in plain sight. And he's laughing as though whatever I said made sense. It doesn't make any sense. So Peter Obi is the biggest threat. That's why they're always asking, what is Peter Obi going to do next? What is he going to do that we're not already doing? They're always looking for the ideas that Peter Obi needs to execute so that they can chase that idea and say, we're already doing it, so we don't need him to come and do it anymore. And they're woeful at doing them. If you look at Bola Tinubu's 2023 campaign, you'll see everything in his campaign policy is took from Abiola's, and he's been woeful at executing them. Every single one of them. He has not done the monetary policy, security, everything he said he was going to do. You know why? Because he did not conceive those ideas. Even the ones he stole from Peter Obi, he's not been able to do them because he didn't conceive those ideas. He doesn't know how to execute them. That's why you can see them failing after policy, and it's just crumbling and will keep borrowing. So they're always coming at the man because they want to find out what is he going to do next. So once he says that, they will rush to go and do it. If you look at all the things they've been doing, they're rushing towards it. If Wike wants to complain, he complains about Peter Obi. Every of the other spokesmen, Bayo Nonuga, all of them put together, they're always coming for Peter Obi. Why? Nigerians know Peter Obi. As well as he said, Nigerians know the coalition and they know Peter Obi. And they know that the people in the coalition, they're not saints. And we're all aware of it. They're the ones that contributed to the destruction of Nigeria, from David Mark to Atiku to Amechi to El Rufai. They're all of them, the hands in the oil together, all of them, and their hands are stained. But one thing that we're certain about is that we need to get rid of this political party called the APC. And we know that it's an unholy arrangement. And we have already told Peter Obi, be careful, because they will do you what they did to you when you were in PDP. So you need to be very, 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 very careful. You understand? So that idea of trying to blacklist Peter Obi, we already know, and Nigerians know the APC, and we're already tired. We're already tired because we can see that the APC is just, listen, from Buhari to Bola Tinubu, it's just been an execution of failed policy. Execution of failed policies for 10 years. It will take Nigeria a long time to recover from APC. I'm telling you this, you mark my word, it will take Nigeria a long time. Even though Peter Obi is promising 4 years to fix it, it will take longer than that. It's taken the UK so long to fix the mess made by Liz Truss. How much more? That only lasted for less than 2 months. How much more? 10 years. 10 years of borrowing that we cannot see. 10 years of policy execution that is so woeful. 10 years of destruction, insecurity, food crisis, monetary policies that have failed. And you think it's going to happen in 4 years. It's going to take a long time. So we need to be very, very prepared. But Nigerians need to understand this. Bola Tinubu spokespeople are only just trying to placate the president. It's failed. Literally failed. His policies have failed. And this is not personal. This is just the fact that we deserve better. And the campaign for a better Nigeria, it's got nothing to do with a personal attack. It's the fact that a Nigeria that works for you, works for me, works for everybody. That's what we want. It's as simple as that. Anything else is secondary. So I don't know what you think about what Daniel Bwala says, but let's get into the raw comment section. Put your comments. Let us know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and also recommend this channel to others. I'll catch you up in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.